What's happening? What up? What it do? That's for sure. But everybody in my city say, what up, though? What up? What up, though? What up, though? What's going on, y'all? Salute, salute, salute. Let me start it off like this, like we always do with our copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976. Allowance is made for the fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use, y'all. Also, any music you hear during this live or throughout this demonstration, I do not own rights to it. It's not my music, folks. And then, I just want everyone to really quickly, um, this is the link, the biggest M I know, everybody I asked to say a prayer for her and her family. One of her family members has passed away. They have a GoFundMe. I have the link right here. I've dropped it. This is the GoFundMe. Prayers for Big M and her family. The biggest M I know. That's why, again, her absence. Again, praying for her family. They have lost a family member. It's all love, Big M. I miss you. I know you're strong, and if you guys can share the GoFundMe, help the family out if you can, and just by sharing it or whatever you can do, just try to help out, please, if you can. Big M means a lot to me, and so everybody pray for her family and pray for her. And Big M has been through a lot too, you know. So again, I dropped the link. This is the link for the GoFundMe for Big M. Again, they lost a family member, and that's why she's not here. She will be back soon. So again, praying for you, Big M, and your family. It's all love. Yours truly. So, then let me shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to y'all. Leave yours truly and the biggest M I know. A comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know your thoughts, your opinion. All opinions matter over here. We can agree to disagree or agree. And then keep it moving. That's it. That's all. Everybody coming in and out of the live kindly. Take whatever finger you could and real smooth like, real cool like, real true like, and hit on that thumbs up button for yours truly and the biggest M I know, And to my bushwatchers, yeah, I'm talking to y'all. I see y'all. I see y'all. Yeah, y'all. While you're at it, you can hit that record button. You can hit that watch button. You can take whatever finger you would like and hit that thumbs up button for yours truly and the biggest M I know. You know. Hell yeah. So, and then, share the live in my TikTok voice. Um, uh, Subscribe to the channel, y'all, if you haven't yet. It is free 99. It is cold over here in Detroit. So, you might need a jacket. And again, we got green jackets. Grab yourself a membership if you would like. Become part of the family. And I must say, me and Big M do agree. You would look way better in green over here. Just saying, you'd look better in green over here. Just our opinion, you know. Um, but no pressure. It's up to you. Oh snap! I hit the wrong one. So you guys know, I've been covering, one of the stories I've been covering, and one of the advocating for, our girl Rebecca Park and Baby Park, um, you know, her unalivers were back in court today, y'all. It was a very short hearing and a very long ride, by golly. But literally a 2 minute hearing. But that's what boots on the ground is all about. It was worth it. Um, you know, um, so I'm gonna bring y'all the update. We can't have phones in the courtroom and all that. So before I bring y'all an update, anybody new tuning in, we're just gonna do a little quick review of what happened to our girl Rebecca in Baby Park. Do, 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 do. So just a quick recap, like, for the people that might be new tuning into my channel, and and some of us, I follow a lot of cases. So it's good to just have a little refresher, and then we can listen to the update, and then yeah, we'll go from there.
We'll pay you to get your CDL and give you a truck driving job with one of the nation's safest carriers, Rail Transport. So if you're unemployed.
Good evening, I'm Roop Raj. We begin with a truly disturbing story that's been getting national attention. And tonight we're learning new horrific details behind the death of a young mother and her baby. Fox News' Jessica Dupnack is here in studio with the latest for us tonight. Jess?
Roop, this horror story all unfolding up north in Wexford County. Gasped in the courtroom today in Cadillac as new details came to light. 22-year-old Rebecca Park went missing in early November, and she was about to give birth. Today, her biological mom and stepdad charged in her murder. We do want to warn you, this is incredibly graphic.
Case, we had two individuals that created a plan. They conducted research. They brought Rebecca Park to their home. They forced her into a vehicle and took her into the woods where they stabbed her, forced her to lie on the ground while they cut her baby out of her, ultimately causing her death and the death of the baby. This is as heinous and as awful a case as it could be.
Both Courtney and Bradley Bartholomew charged with murder and 7 other felonies each. They were denied bond. We learned officially in court Tuesday Rebecca's baby was killed, although a body has not been found. Rebecca's body was discovered in the forest near where she was last seen, just outside of Cadillac. That was last week. While she was missing, Rebecca's bio mom did TV interviews pleading for her daughter's safe return. Now Rebecca was adopted at 1 year old. Her adoptive mother says Rebecca leaves behind 2 boys, 2 and 3 years old, that are in her care. But the big question tonight is, why did this all happen?
Yeah, why and how could someone who says that they're a mom?
So there's that's in a nutshell what happened to our girl Rebecca and baby Park, y'all. And remember, when we talk about open investigations, we have to be super careful with the words that we say, and how we say things, because we're not detectives, we're not private investigators, we're here to bring awareness, we're not here to crack the case. We have to keep our emotions out of it, and again, in the beginning, I was really emotional. I covered a lot of cases. And I had to know, when you know better, you do better. So I just highly encourage everybody to make sure they, just know what you're doing. When you say, so if we're out here advocating or bringing awareness for open investigations, we have to be super duper careful. Because the last hearing, remember, Rebecca Parks, they asked for a dismissal. The state didn't receive, the defense didn't receive anything from the state. Not an autopsy report, which blew my mind. Nothing. And then the defense had said that they had to receive the affidavit from social media. And we all know Courtney, Kimmy, Richie, and Brad all were hitting panels on TikTok. And the thing about it is, again, when we know better, we do better. This is an open investigation. We got to be super careful what we do on this internet. And again, bringing awareness is not trying to crack the case. I took my accountability. I learned, I taught myself better. When you know better, you do better. You know what I'm saying? We can't, after the case, we can put our opinions on it, or you can create a Discord, and on the back end, you can talk all the junk you want and state all the opinions you want about what you think happened. But until then, when you do it here on the internet, it's called compromising the integrity of the victim's case. And as in bringing awareness, that's not okay. We have to protect the integrity of the case. We cannot hinder. Why would us bringing awareness? But again, we don't know better. We don't, again, so I highly encourage everybody to know what we're out here doing. Because again, you never know. You could be hit with a gag order. You could be hit with a subpoena. and you didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? So I highly, highly recommend everybody who, you know, is bringing awareness to open investigations. You know what you're doing. And when you claim certain credentials, I don't know. I just really, really highly recommend. You just know what you're doing. So as I bring y'all this update, we're gonna listen to there's a video, not my video. Phones are not allowed in the courtroom. You're not allowed to record in the courtroom. It's called contempt of court. So it's not my video. It was Zoomed. It was online, and we're gonna listen to the facts, and bring the update because again, I've been covering this case, so there's an update on the case, and to bring awareness, not to try to crack the case, not try to compromise the integrity, not try to, you know, we do that on the back end because again, it's an open investigation. When we know better, we do better. So, again, let's listen to the update, you know, in my own words, you know what I'm saying, like, of the update, which I was there, I heard it, I just got back, it was a long ride, in a very short hearing, very, very short, and they're being really sneaky, all the paperwork's gone, it's real hard to get the information to know what time and when to be to court. But again, I used to stomp up there, y'all. My mama still lives up there. My little sister is a Viking. You know, I stomped up there for some years. And I live back in Detroit. So, it was said, you know, there's no, you know, I was nervous. They said that they wanted, they asked for dismissal last court hearing. If y'all remember and haven't found the case, they were asking for a dismissal. And then the judge, Mr. Corey Wiggins, said, like, let's come back today to talk about it. Okay? So they all met in his chambers, and they have received, the defense has received, and they will continue to receive discovery from the state. Thank goodness. Justice for Rebecca Park and Baby Park, y'all. Justice for Baby Park and Rebecca Park, y'all. Let's take a listen to what happened today in the courtroom in Wexford County.
And the state of Michigan versus Bradley Allen Bartholomew, case number 25-4995 FY. Appearances, counsel.
Joanna Carey for the people.
Morning, Your Honor. Aaron Nehas on behalf of Mr. Bartholomew.
Good morning, Your Honor. Nicole Smith on behalf of Mr. Bartholomew.
Good morning, Your Honor. Tracy Deinhardt on behalf of Ms. Bartholomew, who's present and seated to my right.
All right, good morning, everybody. You all may be seated. We are here for a show cause regarding discovery issues. Before coming in this morning, counsel and I had discussion in chambers. I believe it was a very productive discussion. It's my understanding that discovery is now forthcoming. Parties have started receiving that, and they're also in negotiations to continue to receive the additional discovery that will be forthcoming. So as such, I don't believe there'll be necessary to have the show cause today. Do all parties agree with that? Or let me rephrase that, to have the hearing about any contempt coming out of that.
Agree with that.
All right,
I agree with that as well, Your Honor.
thank you. I'm sorry for the way I phrased that the first time. And I will also note for the record that the AG's office was part of this show cause and does not appear today, nor had we received any communication that they would not be appearing today. So the court will deal with that on a different date. Counsel, is there anything else for the record we need to discuss?
Not for the people.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Deinhardt?
Sorry, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. Based on the conversations in chambers, I think everything's been taken care of.
Okay, and then we have scheduled this for PCC in early March as well. We covered that with everybody's schedules as well. Ms. Carey, do you have anything else?
It's just not comfortable with it.
Okay. All right. Then having nothing else for the record, we are adjourned.
That was the hearing, y'all. That was our update. And again, I told you, they're being very, very quiet. Like you cannot research on the website the time or nor the hearing. So he said, you heard him, March. They're being real vague. But you know, I'm plugged up. You know, I'm not upset. It was a long drive and a short court hearing, y'all. By golly. But justice for Rebecca Park and Baby Park, y'all. Again, I wanted to speak on this because again, I just, you know, when I go to court, you know, I advocate, and I'm in the process of still learning to advocate and things like that and bring awareness, you know. So it just hits different when, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but like Jarvis Butts, our girl Naziah Harris, that's where this all started with for me. Nikki Pop, aka Dominic Robinson, who live streamed unaliving Makari Finley. I was in the courtroom. I was live on the scene. You know, they were when Nikki Pop just had surrendered and was gone. I pulled up just after that. Makari was still there. The tape. You know, I have an interview with all the news. You know, I was live on the scene, and you know, I went to court, and you know, Dominic Robinson, aka Nikki Pop, Brandy Pierce, our boy, Zamar King III. You know, he was 9 years old. His mother, you know, smothered him with a pillow, tied him up, and put him in a shallow grave, and then left state. And shortly before that, our boy Zamar had told CPS that his mother wanted to unalive him, and that his mother, you know, hurt him, and they did nothing. Just like Naziah Harris, they did nothing. Just like Michelle Blair 10 years ago in Detroit, they did nothing. And I just want to speak about, like, it's different being so close to somebody that has been accused of the crimes, especially they're all, I mean, except for Nikki Pop, it's the parents and their shorty. Or, you know, or the family member and it's just crazy. It's just different. It's different. You know, when I first saw Jarvis Butts the very first time in court, I was like angry. It was like my heart was beating real fast. And I just wanted to spit on him. But again, when you know better, you do better. And if you're going to be a real journalist or a real content creator, you do have to be unbiased. You have to take all your feelings out of everything. You can do it on the back end, but if you're going to come out here and conduct yourself, you got to conduct yourself in a way, you know, and have some etiquette. Especially if you claim you're a journalist, especially if you claim that you're an advocate and a content creator. Especially when it comes to missing open investigation cases that involve children and children that were pregnant. We have to protect the integrity. And again, we can do it on the back end. We can tell people how we feel and all that. But again, if you want to come out here and entertain. But be careful what you put in your title. Be careful what you say. Because I know in this case, I know for facts, there's some TikTok panels that will be used in this case for sure. I seen them all. I watched them all. You know, shout out to Steph Files. I seen her on the news. You know, I every time I covered this case on My Hair platform, I shouted her out. I dropped her a link. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? She shout out to her. Shout out to her integrity. You know what I'm saying? And then again, I know we want to know, but but we can't sit on the internet and try to crack the case because that's trauma bonding. We can't try to crack the case on the internet with a group of our friends. And because we want answers, we talk about the same thing over and over and over in a different way. And then we argue. It's just crazy work. Again, I see it all. I watch it all. But shout out to Chef Oz on TikTok, you know, and then she was on the news and everything. You know, but again, the mother and the daughter. And then again, I just have a question for TikTok. When Kimmy got out of jail and y'all let her back up on them panels or that panel, did you think that was smart? When we know better, we do better. I highly encourage everybody to know what you're doing out here. These are serious cases. This is real life. And it's about the victims. It's not about us. So I highly recommend you know what you're doing on open investigations. Open investigations. If you want to come to the internet and talk shit about crime, do it on a closed case like Michelle Blair, Dog Walker, Jeffrey Dahmer, any closed case. Do it with those. You can do that. But these open investigations, it's in your best interest and the victims. Because you could get in trouble. Like literally, it's called hindering the case. And if you really want justice, why would you ever want to compromise the integrity of a victim's case? Just why would you come out and scream, I want justice for this person, but then turn around and everything you do compromises the integrity of the open investigation of our victims that we're here bringing awareness to? By golly, it's common sense, you know? So, that is our update for our girl Rebecca Park. You know, we've been following the case. And, you know, it was a bunch of, it still is. But just, you know, justice for Rebecca, justice for Baby Park. And next update I'll bring you, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, we're going back on tour in a minute. If you want to join me, we're going back on tour. And again, remember what you're doing. When we know better, we do better. You know, in the beginning, you know, when I started doing what I did, again, it started with our girl Nazaya. I was horrible at what I did. I was horrible. I definitely, I could have potentially hindered the case. I could have, you know what I'm saying? But I take my accountability and I did better. When you know better, you do better. I just would be really careful, y'all. Again, it's about the babies. It's not about us. So, with that being said, that is our update for our girl Rebecca Park. Justice for Rebecca Park and Baby Park, y'all. We're going to end it like we always do. And remember, we're going back on tour. So join yours truly. And you know, the biggest M I know, she isn't here. Again, prayers for her family. She has lost a loved one. I dropped the GoFundMe link in the chat. If you can help, just share it. Share it out. If you can contribute, donate, do it. Say a prayer. It's all love, Big M. I love you, man. I miss you. She'll be back soon, y'all. So we're going to end it like we always do. And my Winnie the Poohsky voice, Christopher Robin. You're smarter than you think. You're braver than you believe. And you're stronger than you seem. I feel it in my heart every time, y'all. I feel it in my heart every time. You know? Remember, when you know better, you do better. Or do you? It's all love over here. It's all love over here. It's real true over here. It's real over here, y'all. And until next time, you know, be real smooth with it. Be real cool with it. And most importantly, as true as you can be with it, y'all. You know, salute, salute, salute. Be careful out there, y'all. Justice for Rebecca Park. Justice for Baby Park. Again, it's all love. Yours truly, and the biggest M I know. Salute, salute, salute.